Hi, my name is Hannah McGrath, and I'm a high school science teacher at a hybrid school in northern Colorado. I currently teach anatomy, biology, earth science, chemistry, and environmental science. This video is specifically geared towards teachers that are going to need resources on teaching genetics remotely. I'm going to walk through two different resources focusing on genetics, but they do have other materials for other content areas. So there's a little bit of anatomy that will be represented and lots of STEM resources. So we're going to go through the Learn.Genetics website and the Concord Consortium. The Learn.Genetics website is a host of resources. There's some videos, there's some simulations, games for students to play, but it is not like Khan Academy, so it doesn't record students' activity or anything like that. So what you'll need to do, is put links on your LMS, whether that's Google Classroom or Blackboard, and instructions for what you want students to walk through. Some of the material does have those teacher materials provided with it, but it's still on you to host it and monitor progress and all of that. The Concord Consortium is a little bit different in that it is a learning platform and classroom all-in-one. So if you are wanting to use this, you'll need to sign up for an account, and you can use that, do that using your Google login or create one on your own. It is all free. Both of these materials are all free. But with the Concord Consortium, you'll add students to a class, and then that program will actually monitor their progress through the various activities. So that one's a little more hands-off once you get it up and going. So let's take a look. We'll start with the Learn Genetics. And there's actually two websites that go hand in hand. You've got the Learn.Genetics, this is the student side, and then you've got the Teach.Genetics, which is the teacher side and has all the materials. It does not require a login or anything, so I'm not sure how easily students will find these materials. It's probably not too difficult, so you might want to change up some of the final reflection questions, so there's no Googling of answers. But for the Learn.Genetics, I'll walk you through some of the resources. You can see there's a ton of options available. Neuroscience is the one I was referring to for anatomy teachers if you are working on the brain right now. But let's look at their genetics for our biology teachers out there. And this is what we're currently in my biology class, which is why I'm doing a video on this. So you can see they have a host of material, and my students have worked through most of this section already, and have gone through a few more. They'll show you if it's just a reading, if you've got an interactive activity, some of them are videos. But the nice thing about it is when you open a video, most of them are short, which I appreciate because, you know, attention spans are short. We've got about 1.5 minute video here, which is nice. And then it will go down and show you your next step. So what's the next piece of that lesson? So you could assign your kids a step-by-step, here's your 5 things to work through, and they can just click through it. I usually assign note catchers to go along with this, where students will have to fill in notes as they're watching the videos or doing the interactives. If we go back to that main page, I want to show you the pigeon breeding, because this is an activity that I'm going to be having my students work on next week. And you'll notice pigeonetics, looking at the genetics of pigeon breeding, is actually a very thoroughly developed concept on this website. It's way more than I want my students to know, but I do like this interactive explorer because it lets them practice doing Punnett squares, pairing up dominant and recessive genes, predicting phenotypes. And so this is a fun one for them to do. And it is completely hosted on the website, so there's no downloads for students. And once you get into the activity, it basically has you walk through and you pick 2 parent pigeons, you breed them, and it gives you offspring that you're supposed to match. It gets a little more complicated than just that, but it starts students out and guides them through. On the Teach.Genetics side, there is a guide, and I've actually already navigated to the pigeon breeding, but it's one of the top things. It's, I think, one of their newest additions to the website. So it gives you a teacher guide, which if you open that up, it shows you kind of how to use the whole program, helpful in answering your students' questions when they get stuck, and walks you through some of the general concepts you'll need to know. The other helpful piece, and this makes it pretty much ready to go, is they provide worksheets for students to fill out as they go through. And on a side note, I'm going to point out Kami over here. If you have not learned about Kami before, it is a layer that you add on top of PDFs, and it syncs with Google Drive. It lets you treat a PDF as a worksheet. And so this is a Google extension you can add in for free, and it's worth doing a quick YouTube search for a tutorial on how to use it. It's very easy, very intuitive for students to use as well. It lets them type and draw. So anyways, you can see that there is a full worksheet here that walks through a lot of material for basically most of your genetic concepts you're going to be going over. Happily, it also provides you an answer key. I've found many teacher resource websites don't, so this is super helpful, but do keep in mind that probably students could find this if they were savvy at any kind of Google searching. Not all of the materials on Learn.Genetics has those kind of teacher resources with them, because a lot of them are just informational. And so they're just meant to be used in conjunction with either teaching in a classroom, or they are perfect for this kind of remote learning that we're doing. All right, I'm going to jump on over to the Concord Consortium, and this is a plethora of interactive activities. You do need, like I said before, you do need to make a teacher account. You can sort through them all, but I know what we're looking for, and I've already searched for it. We're going to be doing the GenAdventure activity with my biology class as well, and this is very similar to what I just showed you, but pretty much it's a very high quality interactive game where students again practice their skills with predicting phenotypes from genotypes, creating outcomes, and it walks you through step by step. You can see it's kind of a video game style as you click through. It has a narrative, and eventually you'll get to a place, and I want to show you one of them, where you will breed dragons. Or drakes is what baby dragons are called. So by changing the traits here, you can, let's close that. You can determine what traits are recessive. So if we have a gene for arms and a gene for armless, well, we can tell that armless is recessive because arms still show up. And if I change it both to armless, there you go. And it actually gives you sample dragons or drakes that you're supposed to match. And so kids get to practice figuring out what the recessive and what the dominant traits are and how those work together. If we actually look at this resource as a whole, so I clicked on the preview, but when you click go to the resource, there's a lot of information. It is a full package. So it's got lots of different worksheets that go with everything. You've got all your student materials down here, actually up here. These will take you to Google Docs that you can then make copies of and use personally. There are also a couple, let's see, the quick start guide is where you want to start if you are new to this, and I'm betting most of you are. It kind of walks you through everything you need to know, and it actually gives you a 6-step training course for the teacher, which each step is maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and if you're a quick reader, it's probably faster than that, but it is super helpful so that you know how to guide your students through this. I've actually not used the most current version of this. This is a newer upgrade. I've been using their older one for several years. And the students do love it, but there are definitely spots where they get stuck and they just don't know how to get that particular phenotype. So going through this is actually super helpful in predicting where they're going to get stuck. But I'll show you when you create a class, this is what it looks like. You can click on here to assign any of their materials. Their GenAdventure one is one of the more advanced ones they've produced. And so if I go to my biology class, you'll see that so far no students have gone through it because we haven't done it yet. And let's see, show detail. Okay, and so if I launch the dashboard, this is going to be where it monitors their progress. And so it shows me all the missions that are laid out. And then if I had students in the class, we're doing this in a couple weeks, so we haven't started it yet, but they would show up here, and then it would show me their progress in each lesson. So those are two of my favorite materials for teaching genetics. It makes it much more hands-on and much more fun for students. I've included the links here so that you can pop over and take a look yourself. They definitely take a little bit of figuring out. The Concord Consortium one is a little bit more complex. So if your kids are not very tech savvy, You might want to record a quick video to show them step by step what to do. Which a quick plug for Screencast-O-Matic lets you do free videos like I'm doing now that are under 15 minutes. So if you have questions, do some searching on YouTube. Both of those resources have a lot of teacher materials that can help as well. And I hope that you find these useful as we try and navigate remote learning. Good luck.